Hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Microwave King. Yes, it seems the British record is about to be smashed yet again. Chelsea did it with Enzo Fernandez. Also, Chelsea did it by signing Caicedo. Now, I think Liverpool is trying to smash, the transfer record in England, and they've already done so this season by buying Florian Wirtz. And now Liverpool are going into the market again to make another big purchase. Now, who am I talking about? Now, this is from a striker's market. This is a striker. We all understand the fact that Liverpool needs a striker, all right? They've lost one to the cold hands of death, RIP to Diogo Jota. Now they need a striker. They might actually sell Nunes. Now they need to go into the market to get somebody even better, than Nunes, and somebody who would actually change the face of their attack. And who is this person they are actually interested in? So before we go into that, please, if you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, join this family, share this video, comment in my comment section, hit the like button, be part of this family. Always subscribe. Now let's get into it. It is a very big one over there, at Anfield. So like I said, Liverpool are very interested in signing a striker. And who is this striker that Liverpool are interested in signing? So let's get into it as quick as possible. So the first tweet, okay, from Fabrizio, it says Hugo Ekitike case remain open as Newcastle sent a formal bid to 80 million, like close to 80 million on Monday. That was yesterday. So Eintracht Frankfurt wants more. Liverpool can enter the race only if Newcastle close the door to Alexander Isak exits. Now, Newcastle are still pushing for Ekitike, but a lot depends on Isak. So, here's the thing. Newcastle has Isak, all right? Now, they always see they want to keep him, all right? Now, they are not in a very bad financial state up to the point that they might need or they have to sell, Isak, all right? If they keep him, they are still good financially. Now, here's the thing. They sent a bid over to Eintracht Frankfurt for the striker, which is Ekitike, to come over and play alongside Isak. Now, Eintracht Frankfurt said that was not enough. That price was not enough. They want more because they value this striker at 100 million euros. That's about probably 87, thereabouts, 87 million pounds thereabouts. All right. Now, Liverpool, in the other hand, wants Isak. All right. Now, for the fact that Liverpool wants Isak, they have to pay through their noses. They have to pay a very huge amount of money to get Isak, from Newcastle. Now, Newcastle still do not care that, okay, fine, if you want Isak, we're going to give you Isak, but you have to pay well, all right? And we have already identified the replacement for Isak, all right? That is the game being played right now in the Premier League between Newcastle and Liverpool. Now, let's move ahead to the next tweet concerning from Fabrizio yet again. He said, Liverpool made club-to-club approach with Newcastle to discuss record bid for Alexander Isak. If Isak won't be available, Liverpool can enter the race. Liverpool can enter Ekitike race. Decision up to Newcastle, as they have never wanted to sell Isak plus offer new deal. So like I said earlier, there's a new deal on the table for Isak. All right. Now, if Newcastle actually proves stubborn, which is the fact that Isak is Liverpool's #1 choice striker, all right? Now, if Newcastle decides not to sell and they are being resolved and they are being hard to play by, they are playing a hard ball, then Liverpool will also enter the race for another Newcastle target, which is Ekitike. That might be a cheaper option, to Isak. So you could see the game over there. It's a very tough one, and I'm going to read this whole tweet before I really dive much into this whole issue. Now let's move to the next one. According to Ben Jacobs, he said Frankfurt have turned down a bid for Newcastle. Okay, so this was the confirmation of the first initial tweet I read. Now let's move on. He said clause in talks with after Newcastle sent a delegation to Germany. So Newcastle were so serious about this, they had to even send a delegation over to Germany to complete this deal. Now let's see. Liverpool and Chelsea also admire Ekitike. So this is what Eintracht Frankfurt have always wanted. They've always wanted competition. Why? Because the more the demand, the higher the price. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact is, if so many clubs are in competition to sign Ekitike, the price automatically skyrockets. All right, that's the thing. So right now, Eintracht Frankfurt has a better bargaining power. Why? Because Newcastle are not the only club interested. Liverpool are interested. Chelsea are also there. Manchester United are also there. So that's the thing. That is what Eintracht Frankfurt have always wanted. They've always wanted competition to drive up the price for Hugo Ekitike, because this is a player Chelsea initially identified, and other clubs started taking notice of his potential and on what he is very, very good at, which is holding the ball, very good at 1v1 and scoring goals at the end of the day. Now let's move on, concerning this same tweet. It said Liverpool and Chelsea also admire Ekitike. Liverpool wants a new number 9 with Danny Nunes still expected to depart. So like I said, Darwin Nunes will leave Liverpool, and I've been reporting for days now that Darwin Nunes will leave Liverpool either to Napoli or any other club, or even to Saudi, which is also possible to him. Now let's move on. An interest in Newcastle Isak well documented and active. Chelsea could still sign another attacker with Christopher Nkunku expected to leave, and Nicholas Jackson not untouchable. So Nicholas Jackson, Nkunku guaranteed will leave. Jackson might leave, and if Jackson leaves, then Chelsea might also enter the race for Hugo Ekitike. Now, and with growing interest in him. Now let's move. Now take a look at this. All right, let me show you guys this. Now take a look at this. Look at the potential front three for Liverpool. Florian Wirtz on the left, Isak in attack, and Mohamed Salah on the right. What a lineup. What a lineup. See, Liverpool already spent 100 million plus to sign Florian Wirtz, which was one of the best playmaker in Germany. Fantastic buy for them. No, Liverpool did not actually spend last season. They spent there about 4 million thereabouts to buy Chiesa. So they didn't really spend at all last season. So it's just like they kept the whole, money for this season. They kept the whole transfer kitty for this season. And they've not been playing in the transfer window. Yes, their transfer has actually slowed down a bit with the loss of Diogo Jota. And after then, before then, they signed Florian Wirtz, and after now, after the morning and everything, they also need to go into the market to get a proper number 9 and a proper striker, which also they needed last season. But because of how good Salah was last season, it didn't really affect them too much. Other players were scoring, the goals were shared, amongst their front line, but the recognized number 1 striker for them last season, that's for Liverpool last season, was not hitting the ground running. He was not scoring. So he actually had an effect on them, because when Salah was actually closed down, like what happened against PSG, when Salah is being closed down, there's nobody to actually go in, and get those goals. All right, apart from like the real number 9, like the Gakpo. If Gakpo is not a real center forward. Gakpo sometimes plays from the left, sometimes playing behind the striker. He is not a natural number 9. Okay, probably because of injuries, and Liverpool have so many competitions to play with. They need a proper goal poacher in front, and Isak is the man for it, because this guy has done it in Newcastle. He scored so many goals in Newcastle. Qualified them to the Champions League, I guess, also, and this is a proper number 9. Ball playing is there. Goal scoring is there. Being a center forward, a big center forward that can hold the ball, hold up, play ball carries. He's a goal poacher. He does it all in attack. So this would be a very, very good buy for Liverpool if Liverpool actually, sanction this deal, because this guy is superb. Imagine goals from Salah. Imagine goals from Florian Wirtz. Imagine goals from Isak. The Premier League is not ready. What a team this will be. What a competition we'll have next season. And trust me, for teams who are not signing at the likes of Manchester United, for teams who are really not getting into the market right now to strengthen their squad, they're going to find it very hard next season, because Chelsea are signing, Arsenal are signing, Liverpool are signing, Tottenham are as well signing. It's going to be a big one. Manchester City as well. Let's not forget Manchester City are also signing very, very big, this transfer window. They did majority of their business before the Club World Cup. So this is going to be a very, very competitive season. If for any reason Liverpool has this attack, trust me, we might as well just give them the league, because what a team that would be. You notice that I didn't put Luis Diaz on this lineup, but we'll talk about Luis Diaz in a bit. Now let's move to the next tweet, or the next story concerning Ekitike and Isak. So after saying all of that, after the old previous tweet, here we go with this new tweet from Sky Sports. It says, Liverpool expected to rival Newcastle Ekitike bid after being told Isak is not for sale. Let me read that again. Liverpool expected to rival Newcastle Ekitike bid after being told Isak is not for sale. Now, what I'm seeing here is Newcastle are trying to play a hard ball. Newcastle doesn't want to melt easily. Now, probably they must have quoted a very, very huge sum of money for Liverpool. And Liverpool have really not budged on that, because if a team like Newcastle, they're a very rich club, all right, when it comes to their finances. But due to the fact they have to follow a strict financial fair play rule, they also need to sell as more as buying players as well, all right? So the fact is, Newcastle needs this money for FFP reasons, all right? And it would be so surprising if a club like Newcastle reject a whooping 100 million plus for Isak. Isak is worth that. Let's be honest, because of what he has done in the Premier League. He's a very, very good goal scorer, and he's a very young striker as well. It will be so surprising and so shocking if Newcastle rejects that amount of money, if there was a formal approach, or there was a formal bid from Liverpool to Newcastle for 120 or for 100 million plus for Isak, knowing fully well that they are going to get Ekitike for something less. But due to the fact now that Ekitike is even really more expensive than what they have offered in the past, which is 80 million euros now, Eintracht Frankfurt are expecting nothing less than 100 million euros. That's about 87 million pounds. So imagine selling Isak for 100 million pounds and buying Ekitike for 87 million pounds. So it's just 13 million pounds difference. So what's the need of actually selling him? Unless Liverpool actually makes a 120 million, base fee, then including add-ons, they probably rise up to like 130 million. That's the only way I could see Isak leaving Newcastle, because Isak was very, very instrumental to Newcastle qualify for the Champions League last year. I think they finished 5th. Isak was very, very instrumental. In fact, Isak is their best player over there in Newcastle, alongside Guimaraes and alongside one or two other players, Anthony Gordon and the rest. But trust me, the first name on the list, the first name you could see on the team sheet should be Isak, because he's very good, he's very talented, he scores goals for fun, and he makes things happen on the pitch of play. Also, concerning this same tweet, it says, Liverpool expected to rival Newcastle Ekitike after being told Isak is not for sale. So that means Liverpool might actually go into the market and attack the Ekitike deal. So they are trying to say, in essence, you keep your Isak, then we will go for your own target, which is Ekitike, which we've also targeted before in the past. It might just initially be a 13% difference, but we'll probably go for Ekitike, who's more younger and who has more potential, because these two players have potential. They're so good. So let's see how that goes, because this will really be a long run, and at the end of the day, a big transfer fee would be on the table for any of these targets. They are very good players, and I think these two players really do well next season, no matter the club they are actually playing for. So now, going back to the previous tweet, which I said concerning Luis Diaz, I didn't put him in that initial clip I just showed you. That was the lineup. Now, Luis Diaz might be on his way out of Liverpool. Now, here's the thing. Liverpool, according to Fabrizio again, he said Liverpool has received a 67.5 million official bid from FC Bayern for Luis Diaz this week. The club has rejected the proposal. It was turned down after Liverpool already closed the door to approaches in June. That's according to The Athletic. He said Luis Diaz open to summer exit with both Bayern and Barcelona keen. So the fact is, Luis Diaz has been sending some signals to Liverpool that he wants to leave. I think it's based on contract issues and probably the amount or the price or the salary that Liverpool is offering. And Luis Diaz is not okay about it. He's not keen on that. So he wants to move to Bayern. And we all understand that Bayern and Barcelona want a left winger. Bayern and Barcelona are interested in getting a winger. Probably they want to move, according to Barcelona, they might want to move Rafinha infield, like playing at the central number 10 role. Or they might want a backup or somebody to compete with him on the left-hand side. Now, you cannot buy a player for that amount of money. Now, remember, Liverpool has already actually turned down 67.5 million. Now, for Barcelona, you cannot buy this kind of player for that amount of money and keep him on the bench. So, he has to start. So, probably that means Rafinha will have to play infield. Now, that's for Barcelona. Now, for Bayern Munich, they want a winger. You know, they've already lost Sané. So, they want somebody to compete with Coleman also on the left. So the best thing is to go for an experienced player, which is Luis Diaz. Now, I don't want this particular deal to be like the Sadio Mane deal, who left Liverpool in search of green pastures, in search of, you know, getting a higher salary and not competing with Salah in terms of salary structure and everything. And he went over to Bayern Munich. And when he got to Bayern Munich, 1 season, 1.5, it didn't work out. Then he left to Saudi. So I hope this particular deal will not be like that particular one. So I hope and I wish Luis Diaz all the best. To me, I wish and I would also want to advise him to stay back in Liverpool and to cook this season and probably win the league again, because with what he got in this team, I think this team is capable of doing it again with a very, very good coach. But trust me, let's not forget, this season will be a competitive one in the Premier League. Please let me know what you think concerning Isak. Let me know what you think concerning Luis Diaz. Let me know what you think concerning Ekitike to Newcastle or Liverpool. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell till I come your way again next time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and join this family. I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.